Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. So the Age of Overlord set coming out in the OCG, we have been wondering for quite some time now what character that pertains to. I thought it might be the Supreme King from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, others thought it might be Supreme King Zarc, and what do you know, we finally got confirmation that we are getting new Zarc support in this set, and this was revealed to us just the other day. So we're gonna just jump right into it, starting with a new Pendulum monster that reminds me very much of Astrograph Sorcerer, and that is Supreme King Gate Magician, which is a level 7 Pendulum Scale 1 monster. Now, I'm not going to read the effects of these monsters. I will have them on screen. I'll have the whole article linked down below if you want to take a look, but if there's any cool anime-related facts to Arc 5, I will certainly point those out as we go through these cards. So this card might be supposed to be a retrain of Astrograph Sorcerer, definitely reminds me of that card. And then we go to Supreme King Dragon Lightworm, which is another Pendulum monster that we are getting here. It's a Pendulum Tuner monster, actually. We already have Supreme King Dragon Darkworm in the game, so obviously this is supposed to act as the light version of that card, and you'll kind of notice a theme with these cards, and you might notice that on the thumbnail I had Ray front and center with Zarc kind of, upset in the background, and that's because I feel like a lot of these cards are Ray's influence on Zarc, and I feel like there's no better symbolism of that than the next one, which is the big baddie of this set, and that is Supreme Celestial King Odd Eyes Arc Ray Dragon, which looks absolutely stunning. It is a level 12 Pendulum Scale 13 fusion monster. This thing is crazy looking. Now, my favorite color is green, so anything with green in the color scheme I usually really tend to enjoy. I think the only way this could have maybe looked even cooler is if instead of the dragon head, it was maybe like Ray. Like, I don't know if or maybe Ray, like, hovering over this monster, like, in the background, like, kind of similar to how when she took over Rayra, she was there in the background. Like, this is clearly a Zarc dragon with Ray's influence, and if you look closer, you can see all the four-dimensional dragons kind of there, not symbolisms, but they're, well, yeah, symbols. Their designs kind of influencing the creation of this monster. So this monster is, I think, a fantastic ode to Zarc, Ray, and Arc 5 in general. Now, the Pendulum effect, if you have 2 cards in your Pendulum Zone, you can special summon this card. Then you can shuffle 1 card from your Pendulum Zone into the deck. And then if returned to your extra deck, you can special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions. And the monster effect. It needs 4 dragon monsters, a fusion, a synchro, an Xyz, and a pendulum. The card is always treated as Supreme King Zarc. This face-down card in the extra deck must first be either fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing 1 level 12 Dark Supreme King Zarc. And then the effects. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can place 1 Pendulum monster from your deck in your Pendulum Zone. And if this card in the Monster Zone is destroyed, you can place it in your Pendulum Zone. So, yeah, I mean, the effects don't seem crazy. They seem pretty meh for a monster that looks like this, and a monster that has that much attack, that much defense. It's that difficult to summon. I don't actually know how difficult it is to summon. It seems like there's a good amount of requirements there. I would have liked to see an effect that was maybe a little more badass, which would have fit the overall design of this monster, but still a super cool thing here that we're getting, basically a Zarc dragon with Ray's influence behind it. I absolutely love that. We are getting a couple of spells as well. The first is Pendulum Evolution. The artwork for this is awesome. Obviously, it is Yuya Sakaki's pendulum swinging back and forth, but what's really cool is the colors here are supposed to represent the different dimensions that exist within Arc 5. So orange is standard, blue is Xyz, green is synchro, and purple, of course, is fusion. And the order that these pendulums are on the screen is the order of the U-Boy counterparts that show up in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Obviously, Yugioh was first, followed by Yuto, followed by Yuga, and then finishing off with Yuri. So a great reference to the U-Boys in this card, and a really, really cool design. And they continue to have really cool pendulum designs that are unique. I feel like there's a few spells like this where you have a pendulum on the card, and yet, even after all these years, they're still making uniquely designed spells that have pendulums in the design. So that is super, super cool. The effects are pretty quick. You can shuffle one pendulum monster from your hand into the deck, add one pendulum monster with 2,500 attack and a different name from your deck to your hand. If you special summon a face-down pendulum monster from your extra deck this turn, you can activate this effect immediately after it resolves, pendulum summon a monster, and you can target one Supreme King Zarc you control. It can attack all opponents' monsters once each this turn. We have another spell we are getting called the Light-Winged Dragon, which looks really, really cool. It almost looks like a dragon kind of being born, and I imagine this most likely is Supreme King Dragon Lightworm on the artwork, with the 4 symbols around it: red, blue, green, and purple. I don't know if there's any other real references here. I don't think there are, but that's a pretty cool card, and it allows you to search a Supreme King Dragon or Supreme King Gate Pendulum monster and add it to your hand. So it's a search spell, it's a quick play spell. And then we're getting 2 traps. The first is Miracle of the Supreme King, and I believe the artwork that is shown on this card, well, first of all, it shows one of the cards. I think that's Supreme King Zarc turning into the Supreme King Odd Eyes Arc Ray Dragon, which is the new fusion that we're getting. And I believe this also happened when Rayra and Ray started changing the monsters against Zarc at the end of the duel against Zarc. So I think this could be a reference to that. It might also have happened when Zarc first started dueling against Edo and Sora, but I vividly remember, well, I shouldn't say vividly, I vaguely remember this card transformation happening during the Zarc duel, so I'm sure that the artwork is also a reference to an occurrence that happened in that duel, which is super, super cool. And the final trap shows Supreme King Gate Magician. Looks like he's summoning monsters, or at least opening a portal. It looks kind of like the design that pendulum summoning would create before the monsters were sent down from the circle, and you can even see 4 distinct holes, and I wonder if those are supposed to represent the 4-dimensional dragons. And this trap is Soul of the Supreme Celestial King. I'm not sure if I said the name of it as well. So super, super cool. Honestly, I just love that we continue to get amazing anime support. It is freaking awesome, and I am very excited to see what else we get in Age of Overlord. But let me know what you guys think of these cards. Let me know if you think there's any references that I missed, and let me know if maybe you think that Celestial King Odd Eyes Arc Ray Dragon is actually a really good card. The effects seem a little underwhelming to me, but maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to hear from you about it down below in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Goosey Q and Panther J, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood, Latrell Smith, and Elaine, and to my Egyptian God tier patron, Pink Penguin. Be sure to check out my Patreon for additional channel perks. Thank you to everybody who is a patron or channel member. You guys help me out tremendously. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to check out my channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime content, and I hope you have an amazing day.